Jai Gurudev, good evening. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of Art of Living organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening session. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिंग संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूँ। रोज की तरह आज के सत्र की भी शुरुआत हम लोग 3 बार ओमकार का उच्चारण करके करेंगे। We'll begin our session by chanting Om 3 times. Today we are on 136th session. आज हम लोग अपने योग वाशिष्ठ के 136वें सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं। और टुडेस टॉपिक इज रियली इंटरेस्टिंग। जिस तरह से हम लोग इस सृष्टि के जीवन के बारे में जानना चाहते हैं, तो कई बार ये भी होता है कि सृष्टि का प्रलय होता है, तो ये सृष्टि का प्रलय कैसे होता है। Many times we become very curious to know that how does this entire world that goes through the destruction, what happens at that point of time, how is the situation, something to know about, something to be curious about. So we'll look at that thing in detail. Vaashishtha Muni give this knowledge. Vaashishtha Muni how we are going through that Pashana Akhyan, and in that these knowledge reveals. So we will proceed to that and we'll see how we can get into this knowledge. But for now, I all welcome all our Zoom participants, all our Facebook viewers, and all our YouTube viewers to today's session. Let us begin our session by chanting Om 3 times. Let's all close our eyes. आंखें बंद कर ले. एक साधारण सांस अंदर ले और छोड़ दे. एक गहरी लंबी सांस अंदर ले और छोड़ दे. Let us breathe in for the Omkar chanting. गुरु का आवाहन कर ले. Let us invoke the divinity within. आवाहनम आवाहनम आवाहनम. पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानंद रूपोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम्. Let us offer our prayer. गुरु वंदना कर ले. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Whatever the words that come out of this mouth, whatever the actions that are happening, whatever the thoughts over onto our mind and the power of discrimination arise in our intellect, the impressions that might be getting created on the memory, and if still there is an iota of that me. Let all that be inspired by the Master alone. Pray like this. Walking on the path of liberation, if you have already experienced that mukti, moksha, that there is nothing that can bind you, that is what you are. Then let this remaining life be inspired by the Master alone. Pray like this. Feeling the presence of the Master within and outside, slowly and gradually. The gentle smile on your face, you may open your eyes. धीरे धीरे अपनी प्यारी सी आंखें खोल सकते हो. Jagre, let's continue with our session. So we are going through the Pashana Akhyan. There is a very beautiful story of something called as Pashana Akhyan. What is Pashana Akhyan? Basically, Pashana means the stone. Akhyan means the story. So it's a story that unfolds itself in the Pashana, in the stone. And when Vaashishtha Muni is going through, walking us through this story of Pashana, there is a very beautiful knowledge, something which is beyond our imagination, something which is beyond our intellect to think about it. That knowledge is something reveals in this Pashana Akhyan. So we have seen once upon a time Vaashishtha Muni happens to feel that I would like to go and meditate, and then he does not find a place for it. He goes into the Akasha, finds a space for himself, and then start meditating. 100 years passes like this. When he comes out of that meditation, he says that, okay, I came into that Aham Bhavana. Ramchandra ji asked the question, how come you have Aham Bhavana? How come you have that Ahankara? He said, it's not that ego, it's not that Ahankara. It is just the being. No, just that aham. It is important for one to get into this individual consciousness to have that aham bhavana that is there. So it was limited to only that point of time. It was never converted into the either superiority complex or the inferiority complex. So after doing that, I started hearing some words that are coming, and when I started searching that through my open eyes, I did not find anything. So I just again dissolve myself into that Chidakasha, and in that Chidakasha, into that space. Then once I became, then everything was very obvious to me. So then I happened to meet that lady who was singing that aria. She was singing a poem and singing the glory of the Vaashishtha Muni itself, that you are such, you are beyond all this, you are beyond that outgoing tendencies of five senses, we are beyond cravings, you are that Atmagyani, that Brahman. She was singing the glory of the Vaashishtha Muni like this. So he had a conversation with her. This is where Rama also comes into picture. He says, how come you said that you are into that Chidakasha? How come that you had a conversation with her? No? So that is where Vaashishtha Muni even explains that that conversation happened just because she was also at the space of that same Chidakasha. That question also will Rama ask. No, how come you are Brahmagani, you are into Chidakasha? How come she reached over there? That thing also will the question Rama asks. So then Vaashishtha Muni continued to explain to Rama that conversation happens like that. If you are seeing a dream, and in the dream you are conversing with somebody, do you really require your Vani, your Shabd there? your words there? Not required, right? Are your eyes open? Not necessarily. So how do one perceive that thing through that knowledge? So it says, I saw at that level. I had a conversation at that level. That is how that conversation have happened over there. So he continued to explain such things into detail, that how that thing happened. Then Rama also asked, okay, fine, that thing happened like this. And but how does she came in there? Came there? So Vasishtha Muni said, even I asked the same question to her, that you are here, what is the purpose of you meeting with me? What is the purpose of you singing that? So that is where she reveals her story. And we saw how she tells him that there is this, her husband is there, who is living in the stone, in the world of Pashana. In the stone he is living his life, and then he only created me, and yet that I am his wife, and yet after creation he never treated me like a wife, and he was always in his own world. He was busy doing all his yoga abhyasa in attaining that thing. So because of that thing, but after that I have went through all the things, possible things, that lust and that, because of the age and all that, I've gone through it. But at latter stage of my life, I got into vairagya, dispassion, and then I started doing the yoga abhyasa. I learned these siddhis of akashramana, and that is how I in the search of that atmagana, that upadesha, I was searching for everything here. I saw so many things, but I did not find the one like you. I saw you, and then that is how I have reached you. And now you kindly bless us with that knowledge. So that atmagana, that thing, kindly bless us with that knowledge. So that is where the Vasishtha Muni also hears her story, and he also becomes curious here. What is she talking about? That there is this Brahman is there inside this world. He also feels like, okay, let me go and see that. So he expresses that, okay, let's go and see what is going on there. Both of them comes and they comes there in front of that stone, in front of that big, very big stone, that Shila. But to their surprise, both of them are not able to see anything within that stone. They all see that stone as just a stone. Now that is something really wonders, that to that Vidyadhari, her name is Vidyadhari. So to that Vidyadhari also, she wonders about this. What is this happening? Why am I not? So this is where the Vasishtha Muni also puts up a question in front of them. What happened, Vidyadhari? You told me all these things. When we came here, we don't seem to see anything such going on here. That is where she explains to Vasishtha Muni. She says that, hey Bhagwan, hey Mahamuni Srishta, you know what have happened? We both have been in a conversation about Dvaita, about the duality. I spoke about my husband. I spoke about that time frame in which I have gone through that lust. I have faced that all the pain. I remember that pain again. No, because of all such things. Now see, we both have come out of that sukshma, that subtle consciousness into this physical body kind of thing, and because of that now we see that stone as just a stone. We are seeing now that only through the eyes, that only through the physical eyes. So we are not able to see anything beyond the stone world. So now what is that we need to do? What is it important? That is a very important takeaway here. Here the importance of your sadhana, seva, satsang, your practices, your knowledge, how one has to be in that knowledge again and again is being explained here. The moment you got out of that, you got into the gossip, you got into other thing, you will tend to fall. You know, as is exactly happened with the Vasishtha Muni also, and with that Yuvati also. So they got out of that consciousness, they came into their physical consciousness, individual consciousness. They saw the stone as only stone. No? So this is very important. That is where she explained that. No? So this is where Vasishtha Muni tells to Rama, look at like this. The one thing which I'm telling you, the one thing which I have been telling you, all this different knowledge and all, it is very important for you to continuously do Vachana, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Continue to do the practice of that. No, over a period of time, continuous study. Even the Patanjali Maharshi also said about it, Satadirga Kalam, Nirantar, Satkar Sevita, then it will become the Druda Bhumika. You have to practice something over a period of time with honor and respect, then it will become the firmly established. So he says this is the important of that dharana, that Atma Bhava. it is important that self-study, that swadhyaya, and the satatya is the continue to remain in that thing is very important. The moment you start thinking, talking about something else, you will tend to come out of that space of that Chidananda, Paramananda Sarupa. This is what has happened with both of us. So we are experiencing this. And it's very, very beautifully explained here. Huh? If you go through the book, also certain things are there which may appear to you very complex because they talk of all the things. But we are just trying to understand it in a very simplified manner. But it's a good idea to read through book also. So here now both of them agree to what she said and say, now let's go into that state of subtle body. So both of them are ready to sit for the meditation. Vasishtha Muni also agrees to that, and he also puts up a Padmasana and sits into meditation. And both of them now, through the meditative state, through the practices, they again gets into that subtle form of their Sukshma Deha, Ativaik Sharir, in the subtle form, and now they are, then she enters just like very smoothly, she is able to enter into that stone, and not as a physical level, just at the subtle level she is able to enter into that stone, and so thus the Vasishtha Muni follows her. When they enter over there, they see that there is all these three Brahman, these Bhuvanas are there, the Bhuloka, Pataloka, the Sargaloka. In that Sargaloka, there is this old man who has 4 heads. He is sitting over there, and he is the Brahmadev. He is the Brahma of that Brahmanda, that universe which is situated in that stone. Now she addresses that, look at him. He is my husband. He is my husband, and that is how she introduced him. Vasishtha Muni looks at, he is a Brahmadev. He is the Brahma of that universe. He is the Brahmadev. And when she now addresses to that Brahmadev that, hey Nath, look at us who has come here. He is the Brahmagani, he is the Atmagani. Vasishtha Muni, he is here with us. Kindly wake up from your meditation and let us welcome him. So then that is what exactly happens, that he opens up his eyes. By as he becomes in a Jagrata Avastha, all the other Apsaras, all the gods, everybody, that swans of that Brahmadeva, all they gather together, and now they offer all the prayers to Vasishtha Muni, and Brahmadev addresses that, hey Munivar, kindly have a seat. And then Vasishtha Muni goes and sit there on his asana. Now the conversation that begins between the Brahmadeva of that universe and the Vasishtha Muni. So Vasishtha Muni says that you are Sakshat Brahmadev. You miss in the other universe from where I'm coming. You are my father over there. And now she is coming. She came to me and told me all these things. How come you wanted her to be your wife? How come you created her like this? And then after that you left her. You did not gone through that Grihastha-ashrama, no? All these things. Why did you do that? Why that was required? You know everything. You are already Brahmagyani. Why she is telling me that you need Atmagyana now? And she also need Atmagyana. She was requesting me to come and help you, both of you. Once this conversation is initiated, that is where Brahmadev, that Brahma of that universe, that Brahmanda which is there in that Pashana, that Sheela, that stone, he smiles. And then he says that I only created her, but then it is basically shown as a Vasana. No? Because unless until that Spuran is not there, that Vasana is there, then you will not expand your universe. No? So that Ichcha has to be there to creation, to create. So I only created her. This is in the form of that Vasana. Then I never had an intention to marry her and all that. After creation, she only thought herself that, okay, I created her to be my wife. No? That was never intended to so. She only assumed. And this Vasana, this craving, she only gone through all this pain, which was not actually required. Because see, that is what happens when you have got stuck up in your Vasana, into your cravings. Ultimately, what it results into? It results into dukkha. It results into the sara. So she only created, she only started assuming, she only gone through this dukkha. She only then after some time like contemplation and using the other levels of her own existence, she then came into the Vairagya, then she practiced and got this, all this yoga abhyasa. Now it is her intention only. She only came and searched for you as a Atmagyan, Brahmagani, and then she brought you here with the intention that again to search that knowledge, seek that knowledge. So it is her thing, it is her cravings and vasana. In reality, I never had any such intention. I am just established into myself. I am doing all my work. I did that everything, whatever I'm supposed to do, and that is what I have been kept on doing. So this very beautifully it all continues over here. Huh? That story continues here. So Vaashishtha, Swagat and everything. You have seen that continues there. Then why these things have happened. So when she has done that yoga abhyasa and all that, and then when she achieved that different siddhis, different skills, that akash gaman, going into space, traveling into space to settle body and all that point of time, just to get then she happens to went outside and she tested that this are real or not. That's how she has reached to you. While going through this, while this appearing, that point of time, even that other thing also, that pralaya, that what we spoke about today, that today's our topic, we'll look into details of that. That thing also, Vaashishtha Muni saw that during this thing, this Brahmadev tells that, now look, this thing is now going on. This is the last manvantra. We see there are 14 manus that comes into picture in one particular yuga. So in this yoga right now, if you see that 7th manu is going on. And then like this 14 comes and the end of that 14th manu. So he says into their Brahmanda, into that stone which that Brahmanda is there, that Brahmadeva's Brahmanda, he says that now this is the 14th manu, this is the end of this Kali Yuga. Now the Pralay will happen over here and like this things will appear. So there is a very beautiful explanation of that also. It is given here. How does the Pralay really happens? And that is something which is been very descriptive manner. It is also described over here. We'll look at it, the main theme out of it. So here he says that this Brahmadeva, this Jagat which is Brahmanda is there. It is just that Vidya Maya, and that it's the expansion of that. So now notice here we are not saying Avidya. No, we are saying the Vidya Maya. Why Vidya Maya? So let us see that. So this Brahmadev now continue to have the conversation with Vaashishtha Muni. So he says that all these things, see, I have created all these things. It is because of that Vidya Maya, all these things are created like this. Why it is called as Vidya Maya? So he says that as I am the Brahmadev, I am the creator of this. The things that came as a niyati, for example, the burning nature of the fire, Agni, or the flowing nature of the Vayu, or that cooling nature of the water. How is this there? It is as a part of its qualities, its guna dharma, it is there. Now there is no distortion here. It is just that it's there, as a nature is there. So that is called as Vidya Maya. Means it is at that level that is not asat. It comes into the part of something which is there. It is very obvious in nature. No, that comes into the form of Sat. So that is what is there. So it is called as Vidya Maya here. So like this, because of this Vidya Maya, I came into this form. I assume this Brahmadeva's Sharira here. But that is also at the very subtle level. I never got engrossed into all these things. Even though that I created other things, but I was established into myself. And now is the time that there is this, it's all set to this entire world of these things, what is happening over here is about to finish. It's the last stage of that Manvantra, is their last stage, and the things will now good. So like this Vidya Maya, Vidya and its Maya, so it's called Vidya Maya over there. So like this, because of that, if you see at that level of that Chaitanya, no? So Chaitanya is beyond even Brahma Deva. No? So we say Brahma Deva, Vishnu Deva, Rudra Deva, Shankarji. These are all different symbolic energies is what we are talking about. The Chaitanya, that awareness, what we don't know, we call it as Brahma, we call it as Shiva, we call it as Chaitanya, something which is beyond these identities, something which is beyond this. So that is very important for us to understand, because that Brahma and Brahma Deva, these are two different things. Brahma is that thing which you do not know, that consciousness. Brahma Deva is one symbolic identities of the creator only. Ultimately, all these names, whatever you are using, ultimately it refers to only one, that is the supreme consciousness. So like this, hey Vaashishtha Muni, if you see in this Jagat, whatever is all these things that have happened over here, no, this is where now whatever that I have mentioned you this then, now this Pralaya is it's all set to begin over here, and like that in that Brahmanda, addressing that Brahmadeva in that thing, he happens to start chanting the Om. So he chants the Om, and then there are different processes how to chant that Om is been given here, and he slowly and gradually after chanting Om, he becomes silent. Now that conversation between both of them happens to end over there. He continues to now chant. Now that Vidyadhari also understanding this, she also becomes silent, and Vaashishtha Muni is now observing what's going on here in that Brahmanda, and that is the reason he is able to say that what happens at the time of this entire Pralaya, because it's not that he doesn't know, he knew, but then he is now telling to Rama that this is what I saw there, this is what how it happened all there. So he says that point of time both of this Avyakta and Vyakta, that is thing that has happened at the level of that Parameshti Brahma, it has become the completely Sarva Sankalpa Shunya. It has gone into that state where now he continued that as that sankalpa of that Brahmadeva started becoming weaker and weaker, that point of time automatically on this planet Earth. So its world is always referred, because that point of time this world is referred always, it's all referred to the Bhuloka. Something which is focused on the Bhuloka, the earth element of that. So like that point of time, as he started going inner and inner, started becoming calm and quiet, all the things in this Jagat, all these mountains and the earth and all the ocean and all this earth and its pradesh, all the trees, etc., that started losing upon that Chaitanya Shakti which is there in them, because Brahmadeva is now withdrawing all that, so they started losing all that. So that point of time, the different thing, all the people who started now leaving their prana, they started dying. Some of the ones who have been practicing yoga abhyasa and they know how to get off this body, physical body, they through their Brahmarandra, they left that body and then they become mukta. So like that, he is telling all these things differently. So he says even this earth also become very old, that with Jara, that Vardhakya, it started looking like that. So like this Kali Yuga, and it's the last portion, that last Manvantara has come, and because of all these things started happening, that these things started up. So he said that during this last end of this thing, all such things happen. People will start cheating each other, people will start lying with each other, people will start raping each other, people will do all sorts of all the negative things that can possibly happen. They will start indulge into all such activities. They will stop doing all their spiritual activities. They will not have focus on that. They will get into something which is there. So like this explained in very detail that this is kind of situation that happens. All the one who are having the asura shaktis, the negative tendencies, they will now start doing, they will become the saksham, and they will have the powers. All these different people will get caught up into all the shandripus, these vikaras, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsara, the greed, entanglement, anger. They will get caught up into all that. All these things will continue to happen, and all these things will be continue to destroy. So now he explained now the Pancha Mahabhuta, the 5 elements. That will also start very slowly and gradually diminishing. So this Pancha Mahabhuta, the space element, the earth element, the fire element, the water element, all the thing also slowly and gradually, that Parthiv Sharira, that physical element, that earth element is there, that earth element also, as the destruction is going to happen, right, as it is going near to do, so all the metals, all the dhatus, that will also become very clear, that will also very weakened in there, and all the oceans, they will leave their mind. See if it's in the Pralaya and the diagrams of that water will leave all these things. There will be tsunami all over the earth that will happen, and they will become very big sound. No, so it pralaya is pralaya, right? So in the form of private destruction, all these situations will be created, and at that point of time, all these waves that will be so big. It will be kilometers and kilometers of waves. Even it will go into the space kind of thing. That kind of situation will happen, and that kind of thing, all the other species and all the pranis, they will also start to, obviously when such things happen, all the elephants that will also start floating in that thing. There is a very descriptive thing that is given, what all that things can happen, and then there will be fights between them. This all these things happen, and they will continue. So all the other things, then at that point of time, he also explains that finally that Brahma Deva, which is sitting there, and now that prana, that so we know, we have seen that at the time of that, how does the death actually happens. So at the time of death, human being's death, also that prana will be, as a entire pancha prana will be come, it will come and it will be there in your hridaya. That contraction of that will happen. So here he says that same thing happened with Brahmadeva also, that Brahmadeva started pulling that prana inside his hridaya, inside his heart, and that point of time, automatically that vayu from entire thing started pulling itself also inside that, and like that point of time, all the trees started falling, all the Parvatas, mountains have left their places, and all this destruction that started happening. Then he continues to explain that at that point of even the 12 suns, that's called Bara. Bara means 12. That Aditya means the sun. So this 12 suns came on the horizon, and then they started emitting fire. Then they started emitting all the thing, and because of that, everything started burning here and there. Here I saw like this. These kind of things have happened, and that point of time, he continues to explain that these Pralay, Varnan, and these Bara, these 12 things will come, and that point of time, then it is all, then even that point of time, all these clouds that appeared, and there were all the lightnings that were going on. At some places there were heavy rainfall was there, and at some places there were heavy fire that was going because of this temperature rise, because of this 12 shining suns over there, and there was huge sound that was getting created, and like that this thing continued, and in that such a pralaya, such a destruction of that thing is something which I saw, Rama. So this happened like this, no? So then there is again that very descriptive text is there in the book, that how exactly it happens, how all the gods also goes, and then how does all the animals, all the species that God gets into the destruction, and all the even the demons also that gets into destruction, all the patal loka, all the lokas also. So here we are considering everything just happening on the earth. Then he also further explains that it's not just on the earth, it's all the other nakshatras, all the stars, they also, that Chaitanya is there, so they also start falling. They also leave their places, and into the entire universe also there is very chaotic situation. There is a destructive situation that happens in even into the space also, it continues to happen. So like that these things continue. So in this Drisha, he continues to experience that, he continues to say that. So he says that, is this pralaya is just like a swapna, or it's real happening? So Prabhu Ramchandra ji asked this question to him, that is this pralaya is happening actually, or it is just again in the swapna only, it is happening. So here the Vaashishtha Muni continues to explain that, see, ultimately whatever I told you, this is entire expansion of this Jagat is just a Maya. It has anyway happened in the chitta of that thing. But when it appears here at that point of time to everybody, it is so real. It appears to be very real. So experience that one can get into the Swapnavastha. In that, how does that material or the matter which is there in the dream, that doesn't, the moment you come into the Jagratavastha, it doesn't have any impact, it doesn't exist as such. Like that only, all these things that appeared so real into that Shila, into that Pashana, is now started moving towards as if it were never there. So like that, in that Shila Grua, all the Parijan, all the Prajajan, all these things, they completely started diminishing the earth, that entire thing that became like a, that Srishti become like a Aranya, like a very desert kind of thing, forest kind of thing. That is what is where created. And in that, in the Swapna of that Tattva Jnana, that Vasana Prakasha, that is there, it is not actually, doesn't make any difference. So it was just like dream, it came into existence, it's all experience, all these things happen which I saw, and then it as if it did not exist there, that kind of thing that is being created. So like this, Vashishtha Muni saw that entire drishya, that entire scene of that pralaya, how that pralaya can happen over there, and like that he continues to explain that. So this is where that both the chapters that we saw will finish. Tomorrow will be very interesting, that how does these Bara Adityan, out of these three suns, were actually being shown as the Rudra's three netras, and when the Rudra's that third eye opens, and how does, so that entire description of Rudra, that will come into picture. That is something which will keep it for tomorrow. We'll see that something tomorrow. For now, I'd like to take a pause. I'd like to hand over this session to all of you. If you have any questions related to this topic, you're welcome to ask that. If you'd like to contribute your takeaways from today's topic, you are welcome to do that also. Over to you all. Jai Gurudev. The unmute option will be now open. You can unmute yourself and you can continue to ask if there are any questions. Yeah, please go. Savita ji, do you wanted to speak something? You want? Yeah.
क्या ये जो ब्रह्मांड की संरचना और ये बहुत सारे यूनिवर्स, ये सिर्फ ब्रह्म आत्मज्ञानी ज्ञानियों के लिए ही संभव है क्या?
नहीं नहीं, आपने तो खुद अपने चित्ताकाश में अपना खुद का ब्रह्मांड क्रिएट कर लिया है ना. So you see that in the Chidakash there is an individual consciousness, there is an individual Jiva Bhava, and in that Jiva Bhava, the samvrashna of that, the structure of that, it is exactly as at the level of that Chidakash. There also that is there also that Chidakash is there also that is there also that of the chitta, which is in the form of all this the earth and all this university there, and like that there with us also, right?
Okay. Yes.
So we also created our own Brahmanda. That Chittakash is there. In the Chittakash only you are seeing all this, what you appears to do. All these things is happening in your own Chittakash. Yes?
Yes.
So you have created your own Brahmanda, and you are the creator of that Brahmanda. You are the Brahma there. You are the creator of that Chittakasha.
Okay. Yes. So what is the difference between Lokas and Brahman?
Right. So if you see that the one which we have created, that is our own Chittakasha. In that Chittakasha also, all these bhuvanas, all these things exist in that Brahmanda also. Like this, there are different levels of Brahmanda. In one Brahmanda, there is inside there is another Brahmanda, or there is a completely separate Brahmanda which does not have any connection with each other, or some of the Brahmandas are overlapping with each other. So all these bhuvanas are there, as even we saw, no? Even into that Shila, that one stone, one particular stone also, there was completely different Brahmanda. And we have seen that it is even at the level of, you have that sunlight falling into from your window inside your home, and in that sunlight, that cover size what we see, those sun rays, you will see so many particles, small particles. That one particle, in last couple of sessions we saw that in that one particle, that Indra sees the Brahmanda in that. Have you seen that? Remember that story, that Indra looked at Brahmanda into that smallest tiny particle, and then once he fight with Devas, the Asuras, and he happens to lose, he goes and hide himself into that another particle, that particle which is there into that one sun ray that falls inside the home, and there are thousands of millions of like that. And if you see this entire universe, it is aganit, infinite, can't even count. So he goes into that thing and he forms his own Brahmanda there. He becomes the Indra over there. Have you seen that story? So many such Brahmandas are there. So that they are forming their own Brahmanda and living their life over there like that. So there also that all the Bhuvanas came into picture. Here also we saw in the Pashana that all the three Bhuvanas were there inside the stone. In one Shila, in one stone, there was Patal Loka, there was Bhuloka, there was Swargaloka. All the Lokas were there in that one Brahmanda.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So the one which we say we are in this Brahmanda, we have this three lokas. Like that, there are many such universes, there are many such Brahmandas that exist. That is where in this last Pashana Akhyan, Vaashishtha Muni have seen. Now he said, when I went into that Antariksha, when I become that Chidakasha, I saw many such Brahmandas.
So when we assume a stone as a god, and how that god fulfills our desires.
Yeah, when we consider something as a god, just don't
stone.
Yeah, just don't restrict yourself with only stone. You can look at it, even the idol which is made up of a clay, Ganesha. No, it's not a stone, it is made up of a clay. You even sometimes you go and pray to the trees also. At least in Indian culture, there is a thing that they go and pray to the trees. No, they do the puja of their own husband and wife. That is also there. So don't restrict your divinity to see only in the stones. See the divinity everywhere, because that is all omnipresence, omnipotent of that Chaitanya, that divinity which is there everywhere. So see that divinity is there. And once that divinity is there everywhere, it is there in the stone also, it is there in you also, it is there everywhere. So once you realize to that, once your eyes open up to that reality, then it will not matter whether you go and physically do the puja or not. It doesn't matter then. The Manas puja also is fine. Till that point of time, continue to do your upasana, your aradhana, whatever pujas you do. But not out of any fear. Not out of any fear. Don't feel like if you do not do that, God will get angry on you. No, or papa will happen. If you do that, punya will happen. Somebody will come. So don't get into all that thing. No? We know that that's not reality. Do out of fullness, out of gratitude, not out of fear.
Thank you.
Also there with us. Sangeeta ji, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you. It was quite enlightening, today's chapter. I feel that Shila is also within us, and the Pralay is also of our own Chitta that you said just now. I was about to say that. And that Vidya Maya, जिसे हम बनाते हैं वो सब कुछ, हमारा जो हम ब्रह्म बन के हम, we are the Brahma Deva. That is what it is said. The Brahma Deva we become, and we create all that for us, right? But when we come into that Chaitanya awareness, so all these identities, that everything, it becomes just a symbolic. So everything, when it is Brahman, so the stone is Brahman, and the flower is Brahman, that whole tree is Brahman. And if you see in the tree, anywhere you go in the tree, that essence of that tree is just there. So that is what here we are saying actually. That essence, if you recognize that, तो फिर हम पत्थर की पूजा करें कि हम ट्री की पूजा करें कि हम अपनी पूजा कर ले, it's the same thing for everything. So that essence, when you catch up, that Brahman which is one, that is that pure consciousness. And of course, it is the essence of that self-knowledge that you have to drink. And it is free from all the doubts and it is there in that garden of liberation. So that pure consciousness, when we come up to that, it is everything, you get it. So that Pralay also, it is all of our own thing that we have been created. I think so. It's that also leads you to the Brahman. So it is again not going beyond the mirage. You can see everything. वो मृग तृष्णा का जल के पीछे नहीं जाके, you have that awareness, be in that pure consciousness and experience beyond this now, that those pleasures are the pains. Those pleasures are actually ultimate the pain for you, and therefore not desiring for anything that is temporary. Always go for the permanent one. है ना? हम deal करते हैं तो what do we see? How permanent it is, how much will it last, how effective it is. So all these measures, if you apply here also, I'm sure that we are going to not let us थोड़ा भी अपने benchmark से नीचे हम नहीं जाएंगे, and we will be there. Exactly. So these illusionary world appearances which keeps on looking at us, which we are there, that takes us to the right knowledge and to the beginningless and to the endless. Then everything is just filled with that Brahman. So when the stone, Shila is there, the flower is there, the tree is there, everything, whatever you can see, it's all Brahman. So with that, I think so that Pralay is also everything, just as we heard now, it is the Chit Akash ka Pralay that is going to happen. That happens within ourselves. So, and you get established into your own Brahman. Yeah. I think so. It's okay, Someshwarji. Yeah, I would like to add anything else to that.
This is really fine. That's perfect. Anybody else who would like to express themselves, they can do that.
Yes.
हाँ सविता जी बोलिए.
ये sorry, energy is not created, not destroyed, but Pralay, what happens in Pralay?
Very good question. See, the question here is that if the energy is neither created nor destroyed, then what is this happening in the Pralay? So see, it is like if the Pralay is happening in your Chitta Akash, you are dreaming about it, and then in the dream all these things you only created, and then in the dream your dream is dropped now. You started slowly becoming Jagruta Avastha, so automatically whatever is there in your that Chitta Akash, and that we started destructing itself, right? So where that energy has gone, where the energy is created and destroyed, and does that thing applies to that, something which is created at the level of Chitta only. So it's something which is just there, the projection in the Chitta. What is it that energy is created, not destroyed? कुछ में apply नहीं करता है ना? That principle doesn't apply there. Are you getting this?
Yes.
Because वो बहुत सिद्धांत है. And what we are talking about here is the siddhanta at the level of Chaitanya. The Bhautik siddhanta cannot be applied at the level of Chitta, at the Chiddakash. No,
Yes.
there is no such principle or siddhanta holds true. It's beyond. So this is tark, right? This is a logic. The energy can, and it's true. This is a law, it's a principle, right? We know thermodynamics. So, and we have studied it. Being an engineer, we have studied it. I have studied it. So, destroyed, that siddhanta cannot be. Any other questions? Any other takeaways, contribution if you'd like to do? You're welcome to do that.
So anything that is coming from Chitta is Bhranti, illusion, na?
It is. Don't we know that anything that comes out of your chitta is there a reality, iota of reality to that? It is just happening in the chitta akasha. Something that happens in the chitta akasha only you think. Then it, whatever that vichara that comes, you hold on to one particular vichara and then you put it in your action, you put it in your five senses, take an action on that, and then that becomes the reality for the world. That is a different process altogether. But something which has happened, somebody cannot punish somebody, na, that okay, that particular person killed that person in the chitta. Can we go and complain like that? Oh, that person in that chitta, in his own chitta, he raped her. Go and put up a case on. Can we do that?
No.
No, right? At the chitta akasha, there is no such thing. It's just a bhranti only.
Okay.
It's not real. It's unreal.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Anything else? कुछ और पूछना है? If not, then we'll end this session. आज के सत्र को हम लोग यहीं पे समापन करते हैं, so that we can meet tomorrow. जय गुरुदेव.